Welcome to Sweet Talk SLP. I'm Krystle and I'm a pediatric speech language pathologist. And for today's video, I'm going to give you some of my Amazon recommendations. But before we get started, if you're not yet subscribed to my channel, I invite you to subscribe. Also, like this video and share it with your friends. Let's get shopping. So it seems that every time I sit down to film these videos, we are under an excessive heat advisory, and today is no different. It is currently about 106 degrees outside, and it feels like 113, 114 degrees outside. So my AC will be turning on and off, and we'll have to deal with that in the background as it turns on and off as we go through this, and I'm sorry, but I cannot turn off the AC at this time. As I mentioned, I'm going to be giving you my Amazon recommendations. I'm going to split it up in three. The first section is going to be toys, games, therapy materials that you can use in your speech therapy sessions or at home with your children. The second one will be office supplies and organizational things that I really count on Amazon for my purchases. And the third will be things that are on my wish list. Now, the reason I'm filming this video and the reason this video is going live on a Monday evening instead of my typical Wednesday is because Amazon Prime Day starts Tuesday, July 12th to the 13th. So this is going live Monday, July 11th. And so you can add these to your wish list, kind of keep an eye on them over those 2 days and see if anything goes on sale to add to your therapy materials or your toys at home. As a small disclaimer, all the links down below will be affiliate links. I get the tiniest little commission on them. So if you click on those links or you make purchases from those links, I thank you so much for doing that and supporting this channel. So let's first get into toys, games, activities, etc. These are all things that I've purchased from Amazon myself and things that I recommend you take a look at purchasing for, like I said, your speech therapy closet or car or trunk or for you at home. So let's get started. So the very first thing is a very new buy for me, these take apart dinosaurs. So as you can see, these dinosaurs have a drill and you screw them on and off. I have thoroughly enjoyed these. It took me a while to purchase them. They had been on my list because it randomly popped up on my Amazon screen, and they've been great for my speech trials. With speech therapy and working on speech goals, you want something that has lots of pieces, and so I might go through 10, 12, 15, 20 trials of a sound or a word, and then we can start working on building something like this dinosaur together and doing it piece by piece, screw by screw, and they all have charge of the screwdriver and following the directions. It's also really good for following directions, but it's been a really good activity to use in speech therapy. So I do recommend it. They have different sets that have 3 dinosaurs or 5 dinosaurs and different brands, so you just find the one that works out for you. I have the one that has 3 dinosaurs. Talking about things with lots of pieces, I thoroughly enjoy these princess cupcakes. You'd think you couldn't use them for all of your kids, but believe me, you can. As long as they're old enough, because they are very small cupcakes, you just want to make sure that they have some pretty decent fine motor skills, and if not, well, you can add that into your repertoire. I love working on fine motor things, even though I'm not an occupational therapist, but I like helping kids strengthen that. But also, you build these little mini cupcakes with a few steps. You follow the little cards, you can make a game out of it, but because of it, you get really high speech trials while working on those cupcakes. I also like them for WH questions. The next thing is this puppet game. Now, I use this, again, for speech trials. It has so many puppets that you can do. You make a game out of it. It comes with dice. You can keep score of who's winning on the sides. They're all different kinds of colors, so you pick the one that you feel is best for you. I picked one that had more primary colors, but I feel like some of the pastel ones are usually even more on sale, so I definitely keep a lookout for these puppet games. I love buying books on Amazon, so I've enjoyed these polka dot books, and I've also enjoyed these high five animal books. These have been my favorite so far the past couple years. I do buy other books, other children's books. I prefer board books, and I do often adapt them and add pictures to them with Velcro so that they're more interactive. But these are my top 2 types of books that I've purchased from Amazon that I recommend for you. I really enjoy the Melissa and Doug reusable sticker book. I feel like you can create a whole story using the scenes with the reusable stickers. You put them on and off. You can do following directions, answering questions. It can also serve as a reinforcement for high speech trials. Work on 10, 20 words or sounds or whatever collection you're working on, and then reinforce with a sticker of their choice to put on the sticker scene that they choose. There's different sets. You can buy one sticker book set on its own, or they have packs of 3. The one that I've enjoyed the most has animals. It has dinosaurs, farm animals, ocean animals, but I do have several of these books. I also enjoy this Once Upon a Time book by Nick Sherratt. He has a couple of these books. They are a create your own story. So as you flip through the pages and you're creating your story, there's a slot for you to put a picture of your choice, and on the side it'll have 6 pictures to create your story for the princess. Goliath games in general, I always keep an eye on them, especially when they're on sale. So I have several Goliath games, some that I've purchased from Amazon, some that I've purchased from Target, but I'm always keeping an eye on Amazon on my wish list just to see if any of them go on sale. So I recommend you add some of the Goliath games to your wish list. Pop the Pig, I think that's a Goliath game. Jumping Jack, Banana Blast, any of the ones that you enjoy. Google Goliath games and go on and find your favorites and see if any of them go on sale the next couple days. This little newbie 3D monster grabber, I love putting things inside or having kids put things inside and take them out. It has been a really fun thing to use in therapy. You use little mini objects, you can put cards in it depending on the size, and kids seem to enjoy feeding this little monster. I enjoy peekaboo blocks from Mega Blocks, and so this is the one that I have. I do always take a look at them to see if I find more. It serves for requesting for more, or for help. And then you get to put the little ball on top. It has little peekaboo hands. You push a little button and it rolls off. So it's very fun and interactive, and kids really seem to enjoy it. I also buy craft or painter's tape from Amazon because it comes in rainbow colors. You can get a set of 5, 6, 7 different colors. So instead of using just your blue painter's tape, you can use it in blue, pink, red, orange, yellow, purple, whatever color it comes in. I think they even have printed kinds. So I usually buy this to use in therapy, and we tape things on the walls, on the chair, on the floor, and it's easy to remove without ruining any of the furniture or paint on the walls. With that, I also really enjoy buying dot markers or bingo daubers and using them in therapy. They're really fun, great for speech trials, great for following directions, great for requesting. They're just fun. They're a fun addition to have in your arts and crafts section. I prefer them over crayons, especially because crayons melt in my car, especially in this weather. And so I have to keep crayons in my backpack and not in my car, otherwise I'll have a melted mess in the car. So bingo daubers are a great alternative for me, and kids really seem to enjoy them. Popper toys. Sometimes you find them in stores, sometimes you don't. So I always rely on Amazon to find some. I have a couple of them, three, I think. I have a unicorn, a dinosaur, and a sloth. And so I keep them all in a mesh zipper bag with the balls, and they're really fun for target practice while you're working on your speech goals or other language goals. Kids really seem to enjoy them, and it's good to keep them all together, have more than one set, because those balls roll under the sofa, under the chair, and they get lost all the time, but very fun in therapy. Suction toys. I have these. They look like animals, but they're not animals, and so there's different types of suction toys. I use them for high speech trials, right? And I always challenge the kids to find a place where they can stick in their house, sometimes on the TV carefully, or on a mirror, or on their tables or the floor. And so kids enjoy this challenge of finding where it will and won't stick around their house. We'll go over a lot of speech trials, and then I'll hand them one of their choice, and we get to put it around the room. I also like it for my littles and pulling it out and working on pull, great for fine motor, and kids that might be in a high chair or eating and feeding and stuff like that. And so these are really fun and easy to clean and keep handy. So I have 2 sets. I have one big bag for most of them for my speech and language goals, and then I have a smaller set that I use for kids that might be working on some feeding or maybe eating at the table while we're working on therapy. And if they're in a high chair, they stick really well to the high chair. A folding mirror. I always keep a mirror on hand so that kids can see what they're doing with their mouths, especially for my kids with apraxia. I want them to see my mouth, but I also want them to see their mouth. So a mirror has been very handy. Along with that, I've also added these clear grocery label card holders, and so you can clip it on top of the mirror. I feel like I should show you. So these clear grocery, what do you call them? Clear grocery merchandise clips. I clip them on the top or on the side, and then I'll put their speech cue card on it. I do use the Bjorn speech cue cards, but then sometimes I have these Speechy Musing ones. It just depends on what I have on hand. And so that way they can see themselves, of course this isn't a mirror, they can see themselves in the mirror, but then they have this reminder nearby while they're working on their sound, so it's easy to look at. Of course, sometimes I haven't under my mouth or next to my mouth while I'm doing it, but sometimes if we're working on something that our hands are busy, I'll just clip them here. Or if we're working on a specific word, I might put 2 or 3 of them to kind of help them with their initial sound and their final sound, or the vowel sound, or whatever it is that they're working on. So these clips have been really great, and I keep them in my speech bin with this mirror and some speech sound cue cards. Tally counters, great for speech goals. Kids love clicking them. I love clicking them. They're fun. Different colors. They get to pick the color they want, and they try to get as high a number as they can. Now, sometimes they over tally, and so I have to keep a different tally because they're enjoying it so much, but whatever keeps them motivated to work on as many speech trials as I can get them to do. And lastly, all things learning resources. My top 2 are the Counting Surprise Party and the Rockin' Gem toy. Those have been my favorites. So I recommend you adding a few of these to your wish list, keeping an eye on them in the next couple of days. Let's move on over to things that I order frequently for my office or for organization. We'll start with some organizational things. First, this trunk organizer. I have 2 of them, and I have gifted it twice to 2 different SLPAs actually, and it has been an asset. It has handles, you can pull it in and out, and so if I'm going out of town and I need my trunk to be cleared, I'm able to just pull it out and take it out. I currently only keep one in my car, and I have another one in my house, but I can fit both of them in my trunk very comfortably. I have an SUV with a lot of space, but these have pockets, and they've just been very durable, and they hold a lot of things, and I can organize things very well in them. So I definitely recommend a trunk organizer, especially if you work out of your car, if you're a travel SLP and you have to take things in and out of your car. I also really like having my car seat organizer. I keep pens in there, I keep file folders in there with speech materials and copies of things for my kids. I have folders for not for each of my kids, but for some of them that have materials in them, so I could just pull their folder out and use it in their session and then put it back in. I keep often things in books, in book form, like I have the Adventures in Speech Pathology articulation cards, laminated and binded with binder discs, and I also keep it in there so I can just grab it for one of my speech kids and put it right back in when I have another kid that I'm working on different things with. So I really like this organization thing. I keep it usually in the front seat on my passenger side so I can just grab things from there while I'm once I've parked and I need a few things, and sometimes I'll put it in the back. I'm almost tempted to buy a second one so I can just have more stuff. So there's that. Mesh zipper bags. I love mesh zipper bags. I have a variety set, which I'll post up here in a picture form, but I also have bought the larger ones that fit larger board activities, like from Melissa and Doug and other things. So I have so many of my materials in these mesh zipper bags. You can see through them, they're very durable, they're waterproof, they're easy to open and close, and I just can't get enough of them. I usually buy a set of 1/2-inch binders so that I can store materials in them. They're small and easy to carry in and out. I especially use them for my Speech Tree Co. subscriptions and the materials that come along with her minis. I don't like to keep them in one big binder because I am a travel therapist and I'm always having to carry things in and out. I like to just take the one singular binder that goes with the minis that I'm taking in for that day. I'm also trying to create themed bins. I started an ocean one with her ocean theme, and so I keep her ocean minis in there and that binder in there, and then a few other ocean things associated with it, so that way I can just carry the whole bin with all of those things in there. So those 1/2-inch binders have been really useful. Laminating sheets. Buy them, use them, rebuy them again. I buy them in sets of 200, I think, and I'm either on my 2nd or 3rd box over the past couple of years. I love laminating my materials, and so I often have to buy laminating sheets, and it's just easier to buy a big old box of 200. So that's something that's always on my wish list or on my list of things to repurchase when I'm running low. With that, also clear sheet protectors. Also buy them in a set of 1 or 200. And I also have purchased the baseball protection sheets that come with 9 squares. And I use them for my Bjorn speech sound cue cards. I use them for the flashcards that come with Speech Tree Co. materials. And anything else that fits in there, I think I use them for some of my articulation cards from Adventures in Speech Pathology, so they stay separated and you can kind of look through them without taking them out, and they stay clean. And you can take them out if you need to, which I do like with my Bjorn speech sound cue cards, but it's nice to have those handy in my office so that I can use them when I need them. Ink. Always buy an ink. I will print things in bulk at an office store, like for my Speech Tree Co. materials. But if I'm printing something like one articulation sheet or a coloring sheet for one of my kids, I use my printer here at home and I buy ink for it. It's something that I do buy often, whenever my ink goes out. So always ink. I'll list the one that I use down below, but it's for a Canon printer. You just use the ink that you need if you need ink, if you have a printer. And the last thing are binding discs. I am obsessed using the Happy Planner binder hole puncher, whatever, and the binding discs. But I buy the binding discs in bulk from Amazon, usually in a set of 100 and multicolored. And I've loved using them. I'm just about out of my first box and I'm about to order my second box. So those are definitely part of my organization and office essentials. And lastly, I'm gonna mention what's on my wish list, the things that I'll be looking for the next couple of days to see if I can get a better deal on. The first thing are mesh zipper bags. I'm running low. And by low, like I have one really large one, but I don't have any of the other smaller sizes. So I will definitely be taking a look to see if I find a better deal on these mesh zipper bags because I need more and I love them so much. Also, along with that take apart dino set is this take apart set that has, a car and a train and different colorful items that you can put together and take apart, and it comes in its own container, its own box. And I like the variety and the brightness of the colors. So I'm gonna try to see if I can find this one on sale in the next couple of days. This car mat, you can fold it and use it to play with cars. What more do you want? I've been looking for a car mat similar to this that's foldable. I had one that was like a box with a mat, but it was so small and I wanted something bigger. So I've been looking at this one and eyeing it, and I'm gonna see if I can find it on a good sale. That way I can use it to play with cars. I use painter's tape often to create roads or use the tile on the floor, but having something like this, you can follow directions, you can use the things that are, pictured on this car mat. And I think it's just really good and small, and since I work out of my car, it's really nice to find things like this. Books, I have a long list of children's books. I'll list some of the ones below that I'm looking at, but there's just probably like 20 on my wish list that I'm going to keep an eye on in the next couple of days. So I suggest you find the children's books that you've been wanting to add to your collection and keeping an eye on them the next couple days. I've had a couple of Orchard Toys games, whatever, on my wish list, and they're not very expensive, but I'm going to see if I can snag a deal on these as well. I found this sensory cube somewhere in my search and it's been on my wish list. I'm also going to be looking to see if I can find a better deal. It comes with, I think, plastic shapes to put in. It's kind of like a shape sorter, but no specific shapes to put them in. You just get them through like the ropes that are there, and it just looks like it'll be a really fun set for some of my littles. And lastly, learning resources, games and activities. I'm going to be looking through them to see what goes on sale, if they go on sale, and maybe adding a couple to my cart to add to, my trunk of toys for therapy. That's all I have for now. I will have all of these things listed down below. I feel like the most important ones are going to be the toys and activities that I've purchased in the past, some of the organizational things if you work in home health or as a travel SLP, and then some of those wish list items. I hope that this video was helpful for you. I'd love to know what are your favorite Amazon purchases. I want to thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, I hope that you'll consider subscribing, liking this video, sharing it with your friends, ring that notification bell. You'll be notified of my weekly uploads. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you on the next one.